Welcome to Joel and the Boys Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Simmons, and I'm here with two other gentlemen. First up, we got my brother, Joey Simmons. What's up?
I'm glad to be back on the podcast again. My brother Marcus and my pops Joe. We're going to break this thing down. Go Lakers.
And last but not least is my pops, Joel Simmons. How you doing?
I'm good to be here, man. Glad to be here.
All right, with that, we're going to go through a multitude of topics today. First, though, we're going to talk about different NBA news going on throughout the league, MVP, NBA first teams, and all of that, and supposedly some snubs. And then we'll get into Game 2 of Boston versus the Heat. And then last up, we'll talk about Lakers versus the Nuggets Game 1. But let's start off with congratulations to Giannis. He won his second consecutive MVP.
All right.
At the age of 25 years old, and he did something that put him into another category with legends, with Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan, which is he won the MVP and also won Defensive Player of the Year. And that's a difficult feat. You got to give him his props for that. And I know a lot of people are upset. A lot of LeBron fans are upset saying that he was the right MVP, but yes, it's a regular season award, and Giannis he had the stats to back it up. And So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Sure, it was. I'm a LeBron and Laker fan, but hey, you gotta get credit where credit is due. Giannis was the best player during the regular season. They not talking. I know a lot of people ain't getting it confused. Like, yeah, LeBron's looking good now in the playoffs, but the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year award, is a regular season award, and Giannis he was both of them. And I just give him credit, especially at a young age, to get those two awards that early. That's pretty good.
Well, I think that the league got the voters. They got it right. I mean, like you say, it's a regular season award, and here's the deal. Also, why did we feel like one player has to win every award? I mean, the whole thing about the NBA is like every year there's an influx of up and coming stars and stuff. So like we don't promote a lot of those. We don't appreciate them when they're emerging. We always want to, like, it seems like the NBA always wants to sort of hold on to if they got a superstar that's maybe near the end, they want to hold on to him as long as they can squeeze every bit of it, the water out of the towel. I mean, LeBron's a great player, and there's no doubt about it. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest players in NBA history. But I'm sorry, Giannis is the MVP.
Yeah, and kind of a twist. LeBron he'll be PC every now and then. Sometimes you get the truth, but today he gave us the truth. He got 16 first place votes, and he said he was pissed off about it. And I was kind of shocked that he said that, but I guess, coming from him, he's an ultimate competitor. He has to believe in himself to know that he's probably the greatest player that's playing right now. And I was kind of shocked by that. Like, and he said it was because of the narrative, which is kind of weird. Like, he mostly controls most of the narrative. Like, I think with The Jump, his business partner, Maverick Carter, is like executive producer on that show.
Yeah.
LeBron has different media outlets, with I think Bleacher Report. I can't recall the name of it off the top of my head, but he has more of a pull with the narrative because even before the MVP votes start coming up, a lot of people on the ESPN were saying, "Oh, it shouldn't be about. It should be an MVP and it should be an award for the best player in the NBA." So it's kind of like I don't see how he could kind of say that Giannis had a narrative like that. That's why he won it. Like, also you got to consider AD's on your team. He's the top power forward in the NBA. You kind of were just gifting him the beginning of the season, and you kind of discrediting AD somewhat when you say that. Like, you're the MVP, but AD led the Lakers in scoring and rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why he's upset about it because obviously LeBron probably could have won it for probably since 2010, if we're being honest. So
yeah,
But I just wanted to kind of speak my piece on that, even though I am somewhat of a LeBron hater and Laker hater. So I'll just be honest about that. But
yeah. Well, but I'm gonna tell you something else though. I think we all sort of get, like you said, LeBron does have a finger in just about everything that goes on in the NBA. If you notice on some of the other games that LeBron's not even in, the other day we were listening to a game, and who was that had a? It
was Coach Mark Jackson brought him up about
it was a block shot.
Bam's block, saying that wasn't the best best block, kind of crapping on Bam's a little bit.
And Bam's one of them kind of guys. I like them kind of players. I mean, emerging players like that, and give that guy his props right then.
Yeah, Heading on to our next topic, they also announced NBA. First, second, and third teams. And first team was, of course, LeBron, Giannis, Harden, Anthony Davis, and Luka. Second team was Kawhi, Jokic, Dame Dollar, Chris Paul, Siakam. And NBA third team, it was Jayson Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Rudy Gobert, our cousin Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook. So what are y'all thoughts? Seems like they pretty much got it right.
Yeah.
I would say for the most part.
I don't think nobody got snubbed this year.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
you can't put everybody on this.
if they have another set of all-star teams, the bad thing about it, I might make one of them teams if they keep going. So
I don't know about Russell Westbrook. I got to double check his stats. I didn't know. I knew he did play real good, like before the pandemic happened. So they might have put him over the edge. I just remember he missed a lot early on, so I didn't know if he played. I guess he did hit the amount of numbers he should have made, because that's the only one I would say kind of stuck out to me a little bit. Russell Westbrook, but everybody else pretty much you can't really argue with.
Yeah,
like I saw, like Bradley Beal and this other guy, Ja Morant, they was complaining. But I'm like, y'all team sucked. I mean, what you want?
Yeah, it's like they Bradley Beal, I guess he averaged 30 points. I think he was second in scoring, I think. But it's like, man, y'all, I think they won 30 games, if that.
They were awful.
They got to the bubble, they didn't do anything. They was just cashed basically cashed some checks. He didn't even play in the bubble, so that might have hurt him too. He should have. I guess if he played in the bubble, people would have, the recency bias, if they saw him, possibly they would have gotten maybe gave him a little bit of a push, but I don't think he deserved to be on it. Trae Young, same thing. They won 20-some games. Like
that's not gonna work.
Like, fine, you scored. He averaged 30 as well. It's like, man, you probably gave up 25. So it's like you basically defeating the purpose. So I understand, but I don't think Trae Young's really upset. He just said he got to work hard. I think it was what Bradley Beal posted. Ja Morant was he was more upset for them, so you can't. Yeah. And then it was another one. I forgot about Devin Booker, but I'm like, same thing with him. They didn't do nothing in the regular season until they got to the bubble.
Yeah, they would have got knocked off anyway if they'd have made the play.
They're a nice up and coming team, but they ain't do nothing.
Yeah, but it's been so long. When they had the break, when the pandemic broke out, a lot of that stuff before the time I can't hardly remember. I remember the Christmas game maybe. And a lot of those other games was just sort of incidental to me. They just didn't stand out, a lot of those games.
I just thought about I know Paul George is not on here, and even Embiid. I just thought about that, but Paul George was hurt too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hurt. He was nicked, and he was playing in and out of Atlanta.
He had that shoulder.
So I think they did the right thing pretty much, unless I'm missing somebody.
It's one of the more balanced ones they did to me.
Yeah, and a lot of those times, those guys make those teams. Those writers and whoever select them, they just lazy anyway. I mean, it's one of the more things they said. Well, don't put him on there. He was a good player, so it's kind of silly anyways.
Nah, it's about money too. You know, that's they got them clauses. So I understand why they be upset, man. You messing with. Let's be like if you made yourselves at work, and then it's out. Well, you know, we don't feel like you worked hard enough on it, but you hit the numbers. Yeah. So I don't blame you missing out $2 million because some writer, you know, want to just be lazy. So. But you know, such as it is, they're still millionaires. You know. So let's start off with the playoffs. We'll start off in the East. Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat, and
choke job.
I wouldn't say that. Boston, they
was up, man.
Yeah, they were up, but they still like. You still got to remember they are a younger team. I know that's not an excuse for them, but they Miami's just tough, man. That's why I come to realize I got to give them they props. Like they just hit you.
Yeah.
You think you got the leak sealed here? Well, it springs up this way. Like Boston, like you said, they were up 17 at one point in the second quarter. Then they were up by 13 going to the half.
Yep.
They were getting Kemba played pretty good to start off. Jayson Tatum, he's always solid. Jaylen Brown was chipping in. Marcus Smart hit a couple threes, and Enes Kanter, he gave him a huge lift in the first half. He got a couple rebounds, putbacks, kind of put a body on Bam.
Yeah.
And so what y'all thoughts about that with Boston on the Boston side?
Yeah, Boston, they just I don't know. It was like they was out of sync. It was like Miami was like throttling them, and they didn't know what to do. It was strange. To see, like, you know how talented Boston is, and then just to see them just look like it's like they didn't, especially in the fourth quarter, it's like they didn't know what was going on.
A lot of that is, I put some things on the coaches. I know the coach can't go out there and actually play the game, but the coach has to build some of that stuff in during practice and film sessions. I mean, what are we going to do during these situations? You know, it was like almost you could see it in their face. Like, said, well, what are we supposed to do now? They coming back. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed in the Celtics coach. Like, seemed like he got sort of he got those wide eyes. Like he was saying, I don't know what to do. And I think those players kind of picked up on that. And so Jaylen Brown, toward the end, he started just taking it basically, and maybe that's what I know. Tatum, they switched to a different defense.
Miami switched to a zone,
and I think
messed him up.
That messed him up a little bit. But just like chess, you gotta go to another point and say, well, they checkmated me this way. Well, I'm gonna do this, and I think they just got to make some. And I don't think it's I don't think it's nothing major. They just. There's a solution for every problem in basketball. I mean, there's something that you can do to counter them, and they just got to make that adjustment. I think it still can be a series, but tomorrow night they better come out and have some kind of plan. Else it could be over pretty quick.
It's like Miami is like relentless. Jimmy Butler, he can get hot. Dragic, he can get hot. Hayward, just Bam. It's like Olynyk could probably get 2 threes back to back. And then on the defensive end, forget about it. So I think Miami is like one of them teams you wasn't expecting to see.
Well, Miami got a bunch of old players that they just give everything they got. I said, well, I know how to do this. Look at Crowder. Crowder hitting all them threes. I mean, come on, that's out the box.
He got a 4-point play last night.
Yeah, he has a 4-point play. What are you doing making a 4-point play?
Saying,
LeBron don't get them kind of plays.
You just giving them more confidence, man. I don't know, man. They better come out swinging.
It's still like on the Boston side, you got to at least Kemba kind of showed up somewhat. He had 23 points, but towards the end, like I was saying, that zone really threw them off. It was like they were confused when they didn't know where to go because they had Marcus Smart like in the middle of the zone, but I think he's too small to really do too much. He would get in there and kick it out, but sometimes you need to attack from that standpoint. So that's what I heard Tim Legler was saying on ESPN. Like, Jayson Tatum really should have been in the middle of the zone and where he could attack it and then, go to the rim and kick it out and kind of give him a different look. It was just like they were just passing to each other outside the zone. You can't beat a zone like that. You might can do like an overload and shoot a three, but you got to be aggressive and then try to crash the boards. And most times when people play a zone, you're more susceptible to get the rebound because they're not guarding a body, they're guarding an area. So you can slip in and get offensive rebounds and putbacks. And I think he did a good job with, putting in Canner, but then the third quarter came and bam, it seemed like he caught about like 6 alleys, dunks, straight up dunks.
And ones.
And also the Celtics, the coach, he put in Romeo Langford. I think he's a rookie. Yeah. He was out there for a split second and he hurt his abductor. He got hurt and that, he at least, I guess you could say he tried to switch it up. And then they also said, after the game, let's go to Miami first, then we can go back to that. Like on the Miami side, like I said, Jimmy, he had clutch steals at the end. Like he had 2 breakaway steals. They got him a dunk and then got them in the basket. Like I was saying earlier, Bam in the third, he just carried them because they outscored Boston 37-17 in the third. And
they did.
the unsung heroes, like he's not getting the narration. Goran Dragic, he scored
he's killing them.
25 points. He's their leading scorer.
I don't know who was holding him. And
he had a couple of pullback. He hit a deep 3. Yeah. He got to the basket. He's like he did whatever he wanted to do. And
But have you noticed one thing about Miami though? They'll go to the hole. You think about it. They'll shoot the threes too, but they got some guys that they're gonna take it in. They're going in there and say, okay, well, stop this. And I think sometimes we get away from this 2-point thing. Everybody's in love with the 3-pointer. But sometimes, man, you got to play some old school basketball. Just take it, put your head out and go straight to the hole. Make them stop you. And today I saw something that was, I saw an old interview Steve Kerr did. Steve Kerr said he didn't like the way that the NBA was going. He said in the old days, he said they don't have no, like these low post players. Talking about that's a part of basketball is like it's disappearing. If you think about it, if you got a guy that can go down on the block and get a basket, when you kind of really need one, a lot of them guys, that's why it's so hard. They don't know how to do that. Everybody's out there in the corner shooting 30-foot jump shots.
Yeah, trying to take people off the dribble.
Yeah, that handoff stuff.
With them also Miami, their bench outside of Hero, they gave them absolutely nothing. Like that's probably gonna catch up with them sooner or later. But right now they're still rolling. Like Also Duncan Robinson, he had a real hot first quarter. He made 4 threes in the first quarter. Yeah. And he ended up having, I think he made about 6 threes in the end. So I think he had about 18 points. And that zone that they went to, like it was a 2-3, but looked like a matchup zone sometimes. I don't know if it was a boxing one, but they had Jimmy at the top.
They had a combination. It was switching out of it. That coach was doing that.
It gave them they was throwing those lazy passes like they were like it was regular season, and Jimmy just picked them off and he has his wingspan and Bam's in the back and they got to figure that out. And it seems like Brad Stevens, he came from Butler, he's coached in college, he knows playing against a zone. He had the, Syracuse had the tough 2-3 zone and different teams, they 1-3-1, all matchup zones. Yeah. The triangle, he should know this. So I don't know if it's some other players pushing back on moving to particular spots, or is he just, since he's been in the NBA so long, maybe he's forgot about it. I don't think he's an intelligent coach, so I don't buy that. So I gotta put more onus on him, like you were saying. Like they gotta figure that out, because like you said, this the way it's looking. To be honest, it's like they gonna sweep them, because it's like you had a big lead in game 1, you let them come back. Yeah. Same thing happened again. Eventually, it's gonna be a closer game. And so you think you're gonna do the opposite and pull it off without a big win? And it was like I just don't. I just don't know. I guess like I'm just coming to the realization like Miami, they're for real. It's like they check all the boxes pretty much. They have Jimmy's the closer, Dragic is a closer. He's rolling. Hero, he'll come in, do his thing, bam, gets rebounds, putbacks.
Plays good defense.
And they all Crowder's still hitting threes. Like I thought eventually, he's gonna cool off.
Cool off, yeah.
But he's not. So it's like it's looking kind of tough. But for the Celtics, they do have I guess one thing they haven't tried yet, or something they should be looking forward to. Gordon Hayward. I think they say he's probable for next game. So I know Gordon Hayward's not like Michael Jordan, like he's on the, but he is a big guard, big forward that can handle the ball. He can shoot, and maybe he can get in between those little crevices and set people up because he does that from time to time. I know some Boston fans like they hate him. Sometimes like I know Tatum and Brown are the future, but sometimes you need a solid. Veteran, and I think he can do that. Like I think, because especially with Kemba played better this last game, but Gordon can kind of play that point forward as well. Like he can set up Tatum to get him easier shots, and Brown easier shots, and Marcus Smart catch and shoot shots. And I think he could be a huge boost to help them because they might, like I said earlier on the last episode, like they might need to go super small, put Tatum at the 5 and have Hayward at the 4 and like try to see, just try something, You don't have nothing to lose.
We need to get out of that because right now they're in a funk, man. I mean, you remember we were watching the game and you were saying they were by what was it, 17?
Yeah, they were 17. And I said like they're gonna let them come back.
Let them come, and they just let them like they were just sitting there watching them whittle the thing away. Yeah, and like I said, quit shooting all them doggone threes, man. Go get a mid range jumper or something, a try, attack. And let the ref make a play for you sometimes.
Yeah, but also, I guess you could say that carried over to after the game. Reports came out that Marcus Smart was supposed to screaming in the locker room. Him and Jaylen Brown had an altercation, but I didn't take it as negative. Like I take it as a positive. Like you won't. Sometimes you need to air people. We don't know what they were talking about. Like, but that shows to me they actually care about losing. Sometimes it seems like they people lose. They just like, we lost. Yeah. They really, they're upset. So when people are upset, that means they care. Yeah. So they're probably gonna come out with a change, hopefully. And they said Brad Stevens talked with the team leaders, and they didn't. Also shows a good sign. They didn't have any leaks coming out saying, "Oh well, he said this about me," and like they didn't have any
that kind of mess.
Good.
Back and forth. So that's still to me, that's a positive.
They need that. You know what? I was telling you about some of these teams. You need a firebrand, somebody who said, "Man, what we doing? What are y'all doing?" I mean, you all the great teams. If you think about it, they always got some player who can go in there.
An agitator. I mean, as bad as they talk about Draymond, I'm sorry, Draymond, right? He'll tell them all, say, "Man, wait, what you doing? You throwing the ball away. Why you doing this here?" And Boston probably got so many. All those guys probably really nice guys and everything. But sometimes you need not a rabble rouser, but somebody who will speak his mind and he'll be honest. Yeah, and he don't care.
Yeah, because they too talented to go out like that. At least go out fight.
That feeble as they playing now.
Yeah, like Denver. Like to me, that's a fighting team. They got it. I don't know what's going on in their locker room with them. They got a fighting spirit. You go down 3, you go down in a series, usually team like, man, but them, they don't give up. So they need whatever spirit the Nuggets got. That's what the Celtics need to. They need to feed off of that or something.
Speaking of Nuggets, let's go to the Western Conference. All right. Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. Their game 1, and it was close for probably the first quarter. I think the Denver won the first quarter. I think by 3 points, and then pretty much that was over with. Like Jokic had, I want to say 3 fouls in the first quarter. Yeah, and that pretty much was all all she wrote. Like then Jamal Murray, he had 4 fouls I think in the third quarter, Millsap had like 4 fouls at a certain point, and it was like they never caught a rhythm because, the Lakers, I guess you say they were aggressive. It was some rumblings on Twitter about a ref, kind of giving the help out to the Lakers, but you can't. Yeah. When you look at the stats, like the Denver's plus and minus their starters, they were all in the negative. Like, so
the Lakers did shoot a lot of free throws, though.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, because it was some of it was questionable. I ain't gonna lie. Like LeBron had a and one on Murray. Like he just lowered his shoulder and just bust him, and they called a foul on Murray. Murray just sat there and looked at him, and Murray got a tick for like looking at somebody. And then on that play, LeBron said and one, looking at him on the floor, and nothing happened. So I was like, well.
It's one of them nights, man.
Yeah, but the Lakers took it to them. Like, so what are y'all thoughts about the game? If y'all watch, because I kind of tuned out. Like towards that third, it was pretty much done. So,
well, from what I saw, man, it's like basically it's like kind of like the Lakers, since they went to the line so many times and calls weren't really going the Nuggets' way. It was kind of like the Nuggets kind of like, By like fourth quarter, they was like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? They just gonna just play this out. We'll just get them in game 2. Because the Lakers, they was just too much for them after their first quarter, man. And then anytime you go to the line 32 times, man, hey, it's all she wrote.
Well, what Denver's coach needs, I'm sure he did do that. When he's talking to those officials, he said, why are they going to the land X number of times, and our guys are going, Pat Riley used to do that. He put a bug in the guy's ear. He's trying to Phil Jackson. Them old guys, they said, well, we ain't getting no free throws and so and so and so. And then those guys, they count in the back of their mind and say, well, maybe we did call such and such. Mm-hmm. But I expect Denver to play a lot better, more in Atlanta what they played against that last opponent. And then I'm gonna tell you something. And the main thing is Denver got to come out and hit somebody in the head. I mean, I'm not talking about physically harming about, but they got to play a little rougher. I mean, to me, like Dwight was almost like a bully in the gym, that running roughshod. Somebody on that bench over there got to come in there and say, you know what, Dwight, you ain't Superman no more.
Yeah, I thought what's his name? Plumlee. I thought he was. I think that's probably gonna be on his agenda. On his agenda to next game. He's gonna probably hit him in the back of the head. I mean, or pull him or something. Because that's what I kind of noticed. He was kind of pushing Jokic. Yeah, kind of baiting because he's kind of like Rodman. Like he played his part. He scored 13 points, but I was like, I wouldn't be letting Dwight ain't got no talking and stuff. He's not the Dwight of 2007 and stuff. Like I would put him in his place and let him know, like, this we in 2020, buddy. Like you've been on 15 teams. Like you don't come here and talk trash. Like
he can't play on a team with Kobe. I mean, come on.
The Hawks released him. Like so they don't get. Then he played with the Wizards last year. They pretty much he didn't even play. He was hurt. Last year.
And that's what I'm talking about. Don't come on here now with all these other players.
You want to bark.
And you're a big dog now. You barking loud now.
Yeah, he gonna have to hit him in the shoulder or something. Hit him in the back.
I mean, to me, that's old school basketball. In the old days, can you imagine Dwight carrying out like that against somebody like that? The old Piston teams. With Lambeer and them old guys.
They stopped in the game.
That would have been broke up in that first quarter. Yeah, early.
Lambeer would have jumped on his neck or something. Like,
no, he would have shot. No, he'd have been running, and then he would have got a pick. It'd be coming from him or that other guy. What's that other guy?
Rick Mahorn.
Mahorn would have took care of that. That'd have been the end of that.
That's a dirty play.
I say, the way it's looking here, Miami, I bet she won't do that.
Jimmy and them gonna get back at him. They gonna say, "No, man, wait a minute."
They put in Haslam for a couple possessions.
Yeah.
For no reason.
For no reason. Haslam ain't put on. He ain't played a nail game this year. Nah. 2 or 3. Yeah.
And
only they could do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might get too carried away though.
But with the Lakers, really, I was watching it, but it was just like like AD, he had 37-10. That's pretty much done. Like he destroyed them. Like they can't. Jokic cannot guard him at all. No. He's too nimble. He's too quick. He's too athletic. And then Jeremy Grant. Sorry. He was guard LeBron. I think they got us cross match. I think Millsap probably need to try to guard LeBron, and Grant need to probably guard AD. Because Jokic can't.
I know
they gotta change up some of their switches or their coverages. Because especially like Joe, you said that they were Jokic probably was gonna foul out, and that's what happened. So they gotta kind of hide him. I would be. I'm trying to think because. Yeah, they went back big. I was about to say, man, I put them on Marcus Morris or something, over the Morris twin to hide him because I think their coach probably is gonna make a lineup change, possibly bring I don't know too much what you can do, but I think maybe bring in Paul in the star lineup. To do something because the Lakers too, they were scoring on made baskets. That just tell them you're not getting back. Something's wrong. At that point, you can't say fatigue. They've been off for a minute since the Clippers game, but they could be fatigued somewhere. But they're still a young team. Like that's inexcusable to let the Lakers do that.
Yeah, that's true. And it may very well just be a fatigue factor. And it might be this thing here too, like maybe the moment catching up with them a little bit. So it's always possible.
But I think Denver got a good coach. He been around the NBA. He know exactly. He know what need to be done. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody get a technical or something.
If I got a couple of big guys over there that ain't gonna hold the play, it's not gonna hold the play too much. I'm sorry, I got 12 fouls over there to give.
And if the Lakers smart, they know it's coming. Yeah,
they know it, but I mean, that don't make no difference if they know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just basketball. You gotta get some order out there.
I kind of rough up Davis too because he kind of like a little bit. He a little soft.
He brittle because I thought he got hurt. He ran into Jokic on one of them calls. He did the little shuffle. And they called a foul on Jokic, and he hit his elbow on Jokic, and he started holding it. I'm like, man, this dude just stayed with like nicks and bruises, like no matter, I guess his whole career. Maybe it's because he grew that huge growth spurt he had. Maybe he just, I don't know, susceptible to little knick-knack injuries and stuff. Like, but he killed him today because LeBron just had 15 to 12 assists. LeBron was just coasting, pretty much just setting everybody up, setting the table.
Okay, well here's the deal. How about this here? I know this may sound ridiculous. I know that LeBron's the greatest player in the NBA right now. Okay, but how about sending some people at him?
I don't know.
That could kind of. It could. He don't like to be physically touched too, but at the same time, it could backfire because since he's a star, he'll probably get the majority of them calls.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start wearing him down after a while. He's not made out of iron. Yeah. I mean, my thing is him. Don't let him sit out there and like he's resting.
Yeah.
I don't want him down there resting at all.
Just hound.
And he's over there taking a break on defense.
Like you sitting back, got time to sit up and all that crap.
I want somebody hanging off of him.
Yeah.
I didn't see enough of Torrey Craig. I don't know why. That's what I thought was gonna be in the handle LeBron. Yeah. I know Jeremiah Grant has the length, but LeBron has the strength. Like he's on the gate. A lot of that Torrey Craig
can lean on him.
He can kind of lean on him and has more strength. I know he's not his best offensive player, but that's what I was kind of shocked. He only played 10 minutes tonight.
No, but see, my philosophy on that. Playing defense, I mean, I want to make everybody on the team work and be responsible for something. I'm not gonna just like you said, like I was saying, don't let LeBron just. I know they say, oh well, if they attack him, he gonna pass him. Okay, well let him have 60 assists. I don't care, but we're gonna make you work every game. You ain't gonna just sit over there and just have your way. Yeah, have it your way. This is not McDonald's.
Yeah, you do that. Hey, that's a wrap. You got like you kind of like the clip they've been showing lately. Yeah. They show like Patrick Beverly like reaching at LeBron, pawing at him in that game. What was that? I think it was the last time they played him in the Staples Center. Mm-hmm. And
it was aggravating.
Yeah, you got to get in there. You got to be dedicated. Get in there and just irritate him, man.
Was it when they think about this here? Back when he was with Cleveland and he played Golden State, he had somebody that was always pawing at him. They sent Iguodala at him for a while. Draymond, and then they might put a combination on him. They had LeBron. LeBron was working. He played some great ball, but LeBron was working. At the end of them games, he went home and probably went to bed.
Yeah, then sometimes they had two. They had, like the death lineup. They had him and Draymond and Iguodala hanging out for.
Yeah,
but I digress though.
But the Nuggets they gotta do a better job. Their starters, all of them. Like I said earlier, they was in the negative. And Gary Harris, he got to give him something. He had just 5 points. Like he killed the Clippers a lot of time on those spot up shots. And something I noticed too. I was watching a video on YouTube. And they were saying I never thought about this. The Nuggets were hitting a lot of threes, and of course in previous series, because they were getting the ball old school. They were getting it from the post to the three instead of vice versa. Now how the NBA's played, and that's probably what really killed them. Jokic is the engine. Like since he wasn't out there, causing havoc, they pretty much don't have a chance. Like Jamal Murray, he tried to keep them close, but it's still like the Lakers made a fact. Like we got it at 15. It's not getting below 10. Like just like a mental thing, almost like a video game. Sometimes 2K, you play on certain levels, you cannot get it past 12. You can keep getting like, I got it this way. The Lakers played the same way. It's like we're not gonna even entertain y'all cutting it down to single digits. And they did a good job. Rondo came in, played. He got some good minutes, some good passes and assists, and he hit an open three.
You bet.
And I guess that playoff, like still saying that playoff Rondo is real. Like he just figures stuff out. He'll just get a layup, get somebody an assist, get them some points.
Well, he played with KD in New Orleans. We saw
AD.
I'm sorry, that's right. AD in New Orleans. So they have a little bond with that. And then too, you think about it, they have a lot of these guys. The Laker guys they diving for the goal. I mean, you just got to get it up there. But I would take certain people out of that offense, though. I mean, Dwight ain't got no business getting no. What did he have? 12, 13 points? That's unacceptable. Dwight's supposed to have about 4 or 5 points and 4 fouls.
Yeah.
That's my Dwight.
Gotta tell me like they're saying our defense allowing easy baskets, and them the ones that kill you, like them dunks, them putbacks and stuff. That kills you in the long run. And
what Rondo doing shooting threes? I mean, we know he can't shoot no threes.
Yeah, he scratched them.
Yeah, that didn't help.
He just made one.
That was too many.
You can't have him. You can't.
It was really KCP had 18 too. That's
really? That's right. You forget about the. Yeah. Well, let me ask you something. What did this Kuzma? How many Kuzma had?
Kuzma had 11, but most of it it was in garbage time, junk time. So he, but they still, it add up and.
I understand, but I just think. I mean, to me, the Nuggets still in this thing, but they're gonna have to make some adjustments. That's all. I mean, that's all what basketball is: adjustments. And those who make a bet on the fly, those are the successful teams.
Yeah, because it got out of hand because there was a Jared Dudley sighting, and JR got in the game and held LeBron with 3 minutes left, I want to say, or 2 minutes left. LeBron just left. He went to the back, and he had his slippers in his hand because I think early in the game he tweaked his ankle. Yeah. So maybe he just like, man, let me go and get my treatment in now because the game's pretty much over with. Because the Nuggets kind of cut it down to 14. They got this guy, this forward. Well, I think he's listed as a guard. PJ Dozier. He played pretty good. Yeah. He's real tall, so maybe they might show him. And Bobo made an appearance, and Porter scored a couple baskets towards the end. Had his stats, but he might need to play, but he's just awful on defense. So that's why I understand why he can't be trusted. And so I mean, like you said, that's what's happened to when they played the Clippers. I know the Lakers, of course, are not the Clippers, but Clippers blew them out the first game by like 30. and we know of course what happened with that series. But the Lakers probably gonna be looking to put them out of their misery. I believe sometimes I go back and forth. I think Lakers might sweep them, to be honest. But I know I could be wrong. I just think they're so in tune right now. Yeah. And like got their like blinders on, like they see the end goal. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else too. You use every bit of a situation to your advantage. The fact that LeBron didn't win the MVP, a lot of that could have been. They could have added a little bit of that into it. We'll show him tonight who the MVP of this league is. Basically, he'll say, "Well, I can win any kind of way. I'll pass out 15 assists." I don't think Denver has to do this. They just got to make some adjustments on that inside. I mean, you got to keep some of those big bodies that the Lakers had inside. They had JaVale and Dwight and these guys in there, and they came in and did what they had to do. I mean, and then they got Dwight going, and then Dwight, their coach knew, who somebody on the team knew, they needed tonight in a nice game, they needed a bully in there to get Jokic kind of disjointed, and they did that.
Well, at the end of the day, we still got to look at it like it's still one game. That's what Denver got to do. And that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's one game.
One game.
So
Malone got the boys right, man.
And I guess with that, we can let's try to do a little preview about Game 3, Boston versus the Heat. Like, do y'all think Boston potentially can stave off going down 3-0, or do you think the Heat is gonna, go up 3?
Yeah, I think Boston go after Marcus Morris chewed them out, and everybody got
smart.
Marcus Smart chewed them out, and everybody got all this stuff off their chest. And I'm pretty sure the coach done sat down with them too. And they know they a talented young team. They know they can play a whole lot better. And plus, they said Hayward might come back. So I think they gonna it ain't gonna be easy, but they gonna win Game 3 and make it interesting.
I just want them to come out and play. To just up to what they're capable of playing, and have some philosophy on what they're going to do in certain situations, and hopefully their coach will sit down with his assistants and make some adjustments. I'm sure those guys who sit there, they sit there the whole game. They gotta be charting the game and see when things change, and then you say, well, what do we need to do? To negate this? If this happens, we're going to go to so and so. We're going to take so and so out of the game. But I don't think Boston can't come out there and get down by no 12 or 14 points. I think that game could be over in the first half.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Who you think wins next game?
I'm sorry. I think the Heat gonna take this one. I got a bad feeling. I think it's the Heat's gonna take this one.
I got the Celtics because it reminds me of like that. Yeah, I remember that Golden State and OKC game or ABC when the OKC was just beating the doors off of them. Then halftime came and they say Draymond got to it with Steve Kerr, told him, I know how to play basketball. And then he fussed at the team, and then Golden State came out there and just regulated. That's what I think is going to happen with the Boston Celtics.
I think it depends on, like they say, if Gordon Hayward plays, I think that gives them a little boost. Yeah. And I think Brad Stevens is going to pull something out. Like he's going to pull out some type of gimmick. I think he should. I don't know if he's active on their roster, but they have a point guard, Carson Edwards. He played. I can't remember what school he played for. He's on the roster. Like I just looked at the stat sheet. He was a DNP, so that means he dressed out. Like I might not be shocked if they throw him out there because he can score. Yeah. He is smaller, but he might say, man, coach, I can get into the zone. Like sometimes you need players. You don't have to always shoot to break a zone. You might need somebody just to penetrate and get in there. Because like a lot of times that's what sometimes you need. There's some players like they can't do this, they can't do it. But some players they can just get in the paint, and I think possibly they might reach out to him, throw him in there for a hot second because he did it the other day, with Canner. And it actually worked for a little while. So I think he possibly should do that. So I think I'm going to say Celtics going to win. Hopefully, because I still want the basketball to go as long as possible. With how everything's going on in the world, like we need the distraction, not distraction, but entertainment. And I hope them young guys they come out with the win. But I could easily say the Heat, the way they're rolling too, like they just figure out how to win. But I'm gonna go with the Celtics winning next game, and so. With saying all that, that's the end of our podcast today. I hope you all listeners enjoyed the episode.
It's a good episode.
Make sure to check us out on my YouTube page, Marcus B. Simmons. It's Joel and the Boys Basketball Podcast. It's episode 5. And hopefully next week we should probably start appearing on iTunes. I'm going to try to get all that sorted out and get all our stuff together. I know we kind of winging it, so to speak, but I just wanted to get it out there, and just to stay with us, stay with us best you can. I see a lot. We have a couple comments. We have a small amount of views. Hopefully, get the views up. But I think the small amount that we have, I appreciate you. I know all of us appreciate you for that, and try to give us some feedback as well to see how we're doing. Like I'm trying to check out everything as best we can, and so. That's all for us today. I'm Marcus Simmons. Once again, I'm with my brother Joey, my pops Joel Simmons, and this is the Joel and the Boys Basketball Podcast, and we'll see you later. Peace out.
All right. Yep.